there's one thing Sony Corporation isn't afraid of, it's a bandwagon. I love one of those. Jump on them whenever possible. See, remember when Philips invented the cassette tape? And then when Sony saw that those things were really quite popular, they went and made the Walkman to play those cassettes and made loads of money. Expert bandwagon jumping that. Not so much when SD cards started becoming a thing, so they tried their own with a memory stick. And when they jumped on the video game bandwagon, changed the world, mate. The PlayStation started back in the late 80s when Sony started working on a CD add-on for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. A relationship that nearly got Ken Two Jobs Kutaragi the sack. Once Nintendo ditched Sony for Philips, Sony tried making a console that would play SNES games, but then soon decided to build their own machine based around the 3D technology that was exploding in the arcades. When the PlayStation released, it was a proper game changer, leaving the competition in the dust. Competition which included the CDI, a console that, thanks to the previously mentioned relationship between Nintendo and Philips, gave the world the unholy creation of Hotel Mario, and 3 Zelda games that bear about as much resemblance to the Nintendo originals as my big toe does to a Fabergé egg. Anyway, it was huge, put Sony at the top of the mountain, until the PS3. That's a whole other story. Point is, Sony likes money, so they must have been watching very closely with Nintendo, them again, launched first the NES Classic, and then the SNES Classic, selling what probably cost them buttons to make at a huge markup to chumps like myself, hence the PlayStation Classic. This was announced ages ago, but just 5 games were announced. Now they've given the full list, which is alright to good. I mean, cards on the table. Any list for anything will be subjective and annoying to finalise. Plus, there will be all kinds of issues with them trying to license games from 20 years ago. But even taking that into consideration, the list is a bit... well, let's just take a look at it and see. So, got a list of games. Here, going to go through it. No kind of real order. Battle Arena Toshinden. I remember that being a thing. Like as a Saturn owner, like Toshinden had all the transparencies that couldn't be done on the Saturn, so that was like, oh, look at that, that's really good. And it was in like the demo pods, the early demo pods, but it was soon, burn out of water. You had Soul Edge, Tekken 3, which we'll come to later. It's just a bit. Final Fantasy 7, obviously. I mean, makes sense. The game and the console are inexorably linked, so you can't not have it on there. Intelligent Cube. Now this is an interesting one. This is like a funky, I think, Japanese game. See, my parents have got no clue, but I remember I think it's been on Game Center CX, and it's quite an interesting little game. So that's one out of left field that you wouldn't expect. Metal Gear Solid. I mean, Konami doesn't hate us that much, but again, we've seen this in other things. It's a PlayStation 1 classic. You can play it on the PS4 through that. I don't know, can't remember anymore. But it's a good game. Good game, Metal Gear Solid. Tekken 3, yeah, there's your banger. There's your absolute classic fighting game for PlayStation. I mean, Tekken did a lot to get the machine noticed, but Tekken 3, oh, that was good. That was a good one. Jumping Flash, oh boy. Oof. I mean, PlayStation games have aged not that gracefully thanks to the kind of weird polygon look they've got. So having one that was kind of still in that era where we were kind of thrashing around defining what a 3D game was and how it worked. Like a platform game, how it worked in that kind of environment. And I think this was pre-Mario 64 that everybody kind of uses the basis for how you navigate a 3D world. So I don't think it's going to age on that one. Mr. Driller. Yeah, like Mr. Driller. Bit of a weird choice on this one. Ridge Racer Type 4. Oh, another banger. That was good. Shame it's not going to come with the funky controller. The Type 4 had the one with like the Joy-Con. Had the wheel in the middle, not the twisty one. The one with the wheel in the middle. I had that controller. That was good. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Yeah, Resident Evil, again, a definitive PlayStation game. Superseded probably by the remake, but you know, this is PlayStation, so you know, whatever. Revelations Persona, no history with this. I mean, Persona 3 and 4, you know, they're the ones that all the cool kids play. 5 was good, I think, and I guess this is like the first one, so yeah, interesting choice. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, interesting choice. I mean, the PlayStation always kind of struggled with the 2D Street Fighter games. I think Alpha 3 was a good version for PlayStation, but otherwise, you know, cut down animations. They weren't as good as the Saturn game. They weren't as good as the Saturn games when it came to like the 2D brawlers. So having this, which isn't really a 2D fighter, it's just like a puzzle game. Was it like Puzzle Bubble? Something, not Puzzle Bubble. Puyo Puyo columns, that kind of thing. Yeah, interesting. Wild Arms. Guess it's because it's, you know, it's a JRPG, and I guess Sony needs all their chips to get in Final Fantasy VII, so their own JRPG kind of makes sense. Cool Ballers 2. I mean, yeah, I'll take that. I remember it being good. I mean, it's no 1080. Let's be honest with ourselves. No 1080, but you know, still, but it was cool. Destruction Derby. I can't imagine this has aged well. It aged very quickly, from what I recall. So, Grand Theft Auto. Now, it is an interesting one. The original top-down 2D version. Ooh, that might be interesting to go back to. I've not gone back to it in a long time. I remember it being much more gamey than the newer ones, and like when 3 kind of changed everything. There was just felt more like an arcade experience than what it became. So that's interesting. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. I mean, yeah, but take it or leave it. It's not my. I mean, it's good, I suppose, but it's not. Yeah. Rayman. Yeah. I mean, you know, the newer ones, the one that's on the Wii U. Can't remember what it's called. Rayman Legends. Look great. This one, however, probably right to go back to, but is it a PlayStation classic? 18 Siphon Filter. Now this I remember being good at the time, because it was like third-person game but had a wee bit of kind of John Woo-ness to it, kind of jumping around and shooting dudes. Don't think I had bullet time, because I don't think we had max pain at that point, but it was fun from what I recall. But will it stack up again? That's the issue with all these games, is like how age they're gonna feel trying to go back to them. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I mean, yeah, was that a big thing on the PlayStation? Can't remember. Finally, Twisted Metal, the game with a clown. That has just got a really boring art style that I just can't get into at all. So yeah, cool. That's a list. I mean, there's like 4 or 5. Final Fantasy VII, Defo. Metal Gear Solid, Defo. Tekken 3, yes. Type 4, yes. Grand Theft Auto, but it's not the best list in the world, is it? It's all just a bit, yeah, I guess we'll have that. So, question is, do I want one? I think that's pretty much why I made this video, so to try and answer the question for myself. Right now, I honestly don't know. I mean, I've kind of got used to having a tiny wee console at Christmas, thanks to the Nintendo Classics. So would I even be having this debate if we were talking about an N64 Classic rather than a PlayStation? Probably not. But there isn't a game on here that really properly grabs me, but could I have said that about the NES Classic? Either. That was more about that console and the nostalgic vibes emanating from that box. I didn't even have a NES back in the day. I wanted one so bad, but I never did get one. So getting a NES Classic on whatever Christmas that was felt like a cosmic wrong being corrected. With the PlayStation, not so much. And this is a console I played to death, but with games that aren't on the Classic. Games like Roll Cage on ISS Pro Evo and Buster Groove. I mean, you can be sure some enterprising internet users will hack it within about 5 minutes of it hitting a shelf, letting you load on whatever ISO or ROM or whatever you fancy, but still, I've never hacked either of my NES Classics, as I just don't want to risk bricking them. And this is something which is compounded by me having a MacBook, which makes the hacking process that little bit more complicated. And having the NES and SNES to play with my younger son has been great. Will that be the same with the PlayStation? I am thoroughly torn. Which, unfortunately, doesn't make for a great end to a video, does it?
Yeah. Sorry.